Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are having a great day. If you are a holder of OM or Mantra, the last 24 hours have been extremely chaotic as the market cap dropped from 6 billion all the way down to under a billion in just 1 hour. There is a lot of panic around the holders, especially the community sentiment is definitely turning red, and there is a lot of questions and uncertainty and confusion between the holders in terms of what exactly happened. There is a lot of holders which are selling, or is it the team that's actually decided to sell which caused everyone to lose a little bit of interest? Well, today I'll cover all that for you, but first of all, if you just pay attention to the entire market, it's very clear to see what Bitcoin was doing. After it was able to climb all the way close to 86,000, there was a little bit of sell-off that happened, which actually was from short-term holders, pushing the market all the way down to 83,000, which actually put it into the critical demand zone between 80 and 84. But what does this mean for the entire market in the short coming time? Well, in simple terms, you need to understand this is clearly suggesting that the crypto market is showing strength to ensure that it's able to keep climbing. Now, talking about OM, crypto implodes 90% as Mantra crypto crash triggered by forced liquidation freakout. So in simple terms, what happened is there was a little bit of fake news, you can say, that actually triggered the entire market into a forced liquidation as majority of the whales decided to panic sell, meaning a lot of people did actually get liquidated. If you just pay attention to the open interest, that's the easiest way to tell. You can see that the open interest dropped by 74% in the last 24 hours. What does this mean? Well, if you just look at the liquidations, that should give you more perspective. The long traders have lost close to 80 or actually $33 billion. One thing I want to say is if you guys want more daily videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because hey, you might not be able to find me, and drop a like on it so this video will be helped to push further towards the OM holders, because the YouTube algorithm will push it out, and then OM holders will see and maybe have a little bit of faith in the project as maybe a little bit of recovery can happen. So make sure you drop a like on it and subscribe. Now I want to show you guys their Twitter account just to give you a little bit of perspective, but before that, look at this. This is what the chart is looking like, and if you're just a normal person, it's very clear to see this sort of chart is something that a lot of people, a lot of long-term holders are going to be trying to stay away from. So what is scary? Well, if you just see at the start of 2024, that's pretty much the time where OM started exploding. At one point it was sitting close to 25 cents, and by the, let's just say, February 2025, it was already at $8. And $8, seeing, you know, a simple maths, you guys can come to a conclusion that $8 just means the market cap was booming. Now, this growth was very rapid, and OM had a very decent amount of, you know, back end, which was actually helping this grow even further. But what was a little bit even scarier is the fact how strong the liquidations can play out. What I'm trying to say is a little bit of a mistake from a team will get a lot of whales to lose a lot of interest in a token like this. And when the whales decide to lose interest, what's going to happen? Well, over time they're going to be selling a large chunk of money. But this one, the only thing that was different is they decided to sell a huge amount in a really short time. And what happened is more people who were, you know, leverage trading got liquidated. And when they got liquidated, the market pushed down even harder. Just know that if the team was selling, it would be a little bit harder for, you know, people to not just come out and say it. But if you just look at this Mantra community, we want to ensure you that Mantra is fundamentally strong. Today's activity was triggered by a reckless liquidation, not anything to do with the project. One thing we want to be clear about, was not our team. We're looking into it and we'll share more details about this, about what happened. Now, this is scary because if you just look at the overall, you know, just the sentiments from the community, if you just scroll down a little bit, it's a little bit of a scary situation because a lot of people are losing trust, and over time it will require long wait for them to be able to come back with the same amount of confidence. And Mantra, I mean, other than this post, they have barely been posting anything because this is the end of the message. Don't be fooled by any imposters. Please be reminded that only official Mantra chain always double check. They want to ensure that there is not enough, you know, there's not too much scammers which are going to try to steal people's money. But overall, you guys understand the concept with OM. What happened? There was just a really strong liquidations, and easiest way to see is if you just look at the long to the short ratio. Well, it's still in favor of long traders as they expect a little bit of recovery, but this recovery will be a long run ahead. In the simplest way to put it, if you just compare how long it took to actually climb all the way up there, it's very clear that breaking below $5.62 actually meant the market was in a little bit of a downturn, but the type of crash it had, it's going to actually lose a lot of whales interest as they expect the team to be able to come out and say something even crazier and ensure that people's interest stays in it. And President Trump says China's days of abusing the US trades are over. Now, let's just say we can come to a conclusion between the fight that's happening, because this is shaking up everything in the wrong way, because we definitely do not want to see the markets crashing the way they are. And that's why we need to ensure that China and Trump, you know, all the problems which are being caused are going to come to an end. And finally, China suspends exports of certain rare earth materials to United States, and this will definitely impact a lot of things that they make in the United States. Overall, if we talk about OM, do I see a recovery happening? The simplest answer is there is a little bit of chance of recovery, but overall it's going to be very heavily dependent on the community sentiment. If the community sentiment stays negative, it would be very hard for the team to be making any sort of recovery. But overall, guys, let's get a couple of things straight. The TG, which is Telegram, was not deleted. The team tokens all remain in custody, verifiable at this address. We're actively figuring out why these massive forced liquidations occurred and will provide more information. We're here, not going anywhere. That's the only simplest thing that you actually have to see from the team. And personally, the team was not selling, and a lot of investors actually made a lot of holders of OM believe that the team was actually against them, and the teams were actually the ones selling. Particularly its steep, fully diluted valuation, which stood nearly 9 billion versus a total valuation locked of just 13. Well, let's just say over time there is going to be a little bit of confidence that will make a recovery, but the law is investigating Mantra and the token following a reported 90% drop. Our review covers tokenomics, large-scale transfers. If your money's lost, realize, see below. And let's just say they're going to be in a little bit of problem to try to figure out what they're going to do in the future so that the company does not go bankrupt and they do not get forced by everyone to be pushing it out. Overall, if you're a holder, what would I do personally? I'd like to just ride it unless it's a large chunk of money, then it's your decision. This is not financial advice, just my personal opinion. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Subscribe, drop a like on it. I try to bring you more content like this so you can stay up to date with everything. Have a great day and I'll see you soon.